Hello everybody, I'm back here with you this evening. I thought I'd share a couple of things in a quick video this evening before I get ready to settle down for the night. Let's see, the first thing, I have one thing come in the mail today. It was just an eBay standard envelope. I've already opened it. It's probably, definitely the nicest card I'm going to show in this video. I'm really thrilled to get that, what it is. These other cards here actually came in these were picked up at a local card shop. There was a long time local card shop in the city over across from me, Niles, Ohio, that the owner decided he was getting out of it after he'd been struggling for a while to just pay his rent, and he sold out to another guy. Him and his partner sold out to another guy, and that guy opened the shop back up once it changed hands, and he got situated. He opened the shop back up and began selling. And I wanted to go by and meet the new guy. So anyway, we're standing there talking, and I noticed that on the counter, most everything in the shop still looked like it did with the previous owners, because he hadn't had time to really do a whole lot. There was a little bit of rearranging, a little bit of remodeling, but he basically had come in. They'd worked out a deal. Um, on a set price for all the inventory that the previous owners had. He bought everything they had, and then he had to start paying the bills at that point. He had to get the lights switched over, stuff like that, and he had to, they had to be okayed by the landlord as well. For him to take over renting the shop, because he was willing to buy the collect that everything they had inventory wise, but he didn't want to have to haul it out of there. He was only willing to buy it as long as the landlord was willing to allow him to rent the shop and continue to run the card shop. This is a small card shop, but still, there's a lot of inventory in that. It's got a back room. I've been back there with the previous owners before. When he took me back there to show me some stuff in the past, I mean, a lot of inventory. But anyway, he had these boxes, and I noticed one of the boxes that I was looking through to start with while we were standing there talking, was everything in it was 25 cents. This other box said, though, I grabbed out a handful of cards out of this other box, and it said everything in the box was two for $5. And I noticed it had some graded cards, some slabs in it, and I said, "This box here that says two for $5, does that include the slabs?" And I hadn't even looked at the slabs yet. And he said, "Yeah, anything in that box, slabs included, two for $5." Well, I looked through the slabs, and as we're talking, and everything was like grading card companies I've never heard of, except for these two. These two are PSA. And so I bought the two PSAs. One of these, though, has got a crack in it. And I noticed it right before I was about to pay the guy. And so I seen it, and I'm like, oh, wait a second. I was like, because I mean, I've been standing there holding these cards in my hand for, I bet, 30 minutes while we're talking this evening. And I was like, wait a minute. I didn't see this thing's got a crack in the case. I said, I don't really want that one. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, that one does have a crack in it." He goes, "Well, I'll tell you what." He was like, "Since it's got a crack in it," he was like, "How about I just give you these?" He said, "I'll just give you these three cards, and we just say $5, call it even." And to tell you the truth, that still to me would mean he's giving me 75 cents. I'm still paying $5 for these two. Is the way in my mind it works. So that means I got like $2.50 in these cards, or in this card. And that was like, it was okay when I thought that was all I was going to have in it, because I figured it would be something that I could just throw on eBay, or really not throw on eBay, but like throw on Marketplace and sell these things for uh, the one maybe for $5, $6, this one for $10 on Marketplace, because you can usually you can get a little bit more than in some ways, depending, but if not on eBay, and get at least you know but not including, of course, I charge for shipping, but sell both of them for a little bit, make a little bit of profit, just something to sell. But two for $5, you don't walk away at two PSA graded cards for $5, especially when one is a PSA 10. That is Kyle Lewis, former Rookie of the Year in 2020, the strike shortened year. Sad story, really. He's out of baseball right now, and this guy was a first round draft pick. He had knee injuries in the minors that almost ended his career before he even made it to the big leagues. And he finally got healthy, made it to the show in 2019 as a call up and hit like 5 home runs and a limited amount of at bats. He always had the ability to hit. His biggest problem was knee injuries, and by the time he reached AAA, a lot of the Mariners were about ready to give up on him because scouts were then saying he could still hit, but he was pretty much just a designated hitter at that point. They were saying that knee injuries had basically wiped out his ability to be an effective defensive outfielder. And he got hot in that strike. I mean, well, in COVID shortened 2020, the kid got hot, tore it up for 60 games, won Rookie of the Year. Then knee injuries happened again, and he, injury after injury after injury, and he never could stay healthy. When he would get healthy enough to play again, he just never could get his swing back, never could get it going again. Sadly, he's out of baseball now. But it goes to show how quickly somebody can be on top of the world, like this guy was in 2020, and be out of, a few short years later, it's all over. Dream's gone. But that was a nice car for 250. This other one here is a PSA 9 Mitchell Robinson, and it's a rookie card, but as you can see right here, it's got that little crack right there. It's not on the back, but just on the front, and it's got a little crack right here. And when I seen that, that's like I said, I started to. I was like, I don't even want this card. I'll just get the one. And I think the thing was, it was like because of the fact it was 2 for 5, you know. And I don't know what he would have wanted for just if I'd have said I just want this one card, or I might have went over and picked something else out of the 2 for 5. But anyway, he gave me these 3 cards, and I'll show you them. The Robinson, though, I mean, the only reason that I was getting the PSA graded, Robinson is a solid role player, but I don't really collect basketball. I like Robinson, though, because he plays old school style. This guy plays tough, menacing defense. And this guy is a rebound, go and getter, shot blocker, tremendous force on the boards. He reminds me of guys that I grew up watching, like Buck Williams and Charles Oakley. He's more taller and athletic than Oakley was. Williams was a whole lot more athletic than Oakley, but he's tenacious rebounder, defensive player like Oakley was. Better shot blocker but he just reminds me of that kind of defense and rebounding. Michael Cage, another guy that I grew up watching, similar to those. Not as good as Oakley or Buck Williams, but anyway, these are the cards I got out of the quarter box. Bryce Harper. That's a card, more recent card, made to look like 1990 tops. Bryce Harper, if you can see any, I come across anything of his in the cheap boxes, I always yank it out because there's plenty of people collect Bryce Harper. You can't go wrong if you ever want to sell them. This is an auto, Joe Savory, former Phillies prospect. Of course, it didn't work out. If you don't remember him, this card is from like 2000 and it's 2008 Bowman Chrome. It's been a long time since he was a top prospect. But anyway, autograph nonetheless. I'm an autograph collector, and I'll yank that out of a quarter box all the time. Anytime I see an autograph in a quarter box, I'll grab it. I don't care who it is. Especially that's a pack pulled autograph. Guaranteed authentic. And lefty Steve Carlton, and it's amazing what modern technology can do with computers, because this right here, Steve Carlton has not had hair like that since the 1970s, and I know that for a fact. I remember Carlton when I was a little kid. That's what his hair looked like when I was a little kid. Okay. I also remember his career, like later in his career in the 80s, when he was still pitching with Philadelphia, when they were still a contender in the early 80s, like 82, 83. They made it. They won a National League pennant in '83, but Carlton already had short hair then. He had quit growing the hair out longer. He doesn't have a mustache here like he did in the early '70s. This right here to me is probably later '70s, mid to late '70s, somewhere in there. But this image was taken back then, either during spring training or in a workout, and but it's put on a card to make it look like it was just taken yesterday. Really nice card. I grew up, I loved Mike Schmidt. I loved the Phillies. I loved guys like Steve Carlton, Greg the Bull Luzinski. I loved guys like that, Gary Maddox. So when I seen that, I had to have it. I don't break anything modern. I don't go out here and buy boxes and buy packs. I just buy cards. So anything I like. I don't like buying boxes and getting tons of cards that then I got to get rid of. So, but anyway, he gave me those three. So, to make he said, I'll just give you your other dollar back and you keep that. And so to make up for it, because I was going to throw that back. So I took it. And still, I think I come out okay. Two PSA graded cards, even though neither of them is really worth much. The fact that that's a PSA Gem Mint 10 makes it that helps that card a lot. It's also Topps Chrome. It's not Topps Standard. That helps it just a little bit more. But and then the Mitchell Robinson, actually PSA 9s have very little value, even though that's a rookie card. But then the fact that the case has got a crack on it pretty much kills the value of that. It's like you're lucky if you can find, maybe a Knicks fan give you $1 or $2 for it, but that'll be something I'll just toss into. That was my thinking at that time. PSA cards, that price, 2 for $5. I could make a few bucks on them down the road. Toss in a resale bin. The PSA 10 especially. The Robinson, I figured I would wait till basketball season come back. I was like, yeah, I'll get that. And I'm already thinking in my mind, back of my mind, like, I'll wait till basketball season comes back around. New York's got a good team right now. Wait till everybody's mind's back on basketball, throw it up on eBay, see if I can't sell it for, $5-6 plus shipping and make a few dollars on it. And, anytime stuff like that, it doesn't sound like much, but hey, you do it. Everywhere I go, Roseanne says that I'm a lot like a scrapper in a way. Mindset. I'm always looking at, my mind is always working at, can I make $1 on this? Can I make $1 on that? And if I'm already somewhere, like I was already at the shop today, that card shop today, if I'm already there, I'm already there anyway. It ain't like I drove all the way down there just to look around and ended up buying it. I was already there. So I was already in Niles anyway. So it was like, well, hey, well, maybe I'm going to stop by and see the new guy, find out who the new owners are, stuff like that. This was what come in the mail today. This is a 2000 Upper Deck Chipper Jones Bomb Squad insert. And this is a very nice card. I never had one of these. And I've got a lot of Chipper Jones stuff. But I picked this up. This was a pickup, honestly, off of eBay. And I only gave a couple of bucks for it. But really thrilled to get this card. This is a beautiful card. It's not serial numbered. I'll show you the back. I'm not going to take that tape off right now or take it out of the top load. But this guy, my first wife who died in 2004, sadly from something that they didn't have a cure for then, but they've got a cure for now, hepatitis C. And but she got it through a blood transfusion. Anyway, she grew up shuttling back and forth between her parents, and her mother lived in Georgia, and her dad lived in kind of Virginia, where I'm from. And so she spent her childhood going back and forth between Virginia and Georgia. And she also, so some of the years she grew up in her childhood, she spent living in Mount Airy, North Carolina, the hometown of Andy Griffith, because that's where her grandmother lived. And she spent some teenage years living with her grandmother. But anyway, because she, spent a lot of time of her life in Georgia, she became a Braves fan, and she loved this guy. When I married her, she loved Chipper Jones. That was her favorite player. And so this card, and being a rare insert, even though if it is from the junk era, it brings back a lot of memories, good memories to me. So I wanted to pick that up, and I was happy to pick that up. And then before I close this video out, I just wanted to go back and I picked up these two cards I talked about in my last video. And these cards right here, I was talking about, I knew they were, a type of insert, didn't know what kind. They looked similar, but they were both Bowman Platinum, but they look different. They're actually both ice parallels, and both of them, these are Yankees. Esteban Florial, if you didn't see the last video, and Gleyber Torres. These are from 2019, but even though they're both from Bowman Platinum and they're both ice parallels, they're actually from two different sets. This one is the base insert set, meaning the card looks just like the standard base Bowman Platinum set of Gleyber. This is card number 97, and these were found only in retail boxes from Walmart. Walmart blaster boxes exclusively, meaning if you bought Bowman Platinum hobby boxes, whatever, from a card shop, or if you bought cards at Target or wherever, you were not going to have a chance of pulling any of these ice parallels. They were limited to Walmart blaster boxes exclusively from what I read online. So that makes those a little bit more rare, even though there's not serial numbered. And then the other one here is from the same set, but it is also a Walmart blaster box exclusive only. But this is the Top Prospects insert subset that is numbered different. Like this one here is numbered just like the standard base card from the set would be numbered, number 97. This is numbered top, the number on the back of the card, top dash 10, and top meaning standing for Top Prospects ice parallel set. So anyway, that's what those were. I just thought I would bring that up because I went back and looked those up, and I put it on the back of them so I could remember it down the road. And like whatever. That's how I do my collection right there. That's just like this chipper insert. I will end up. It's a card that I doubt it's in good enough shape, though it does have sharp corners and it does look sharp. But I've been I've been trying to put together. I've been waiting to find enough cards that I really would like to have slabbed. The thing is, most of the time, if there's a card that I want, and I think I would want it slabbed. I end up buying it slabbed already a lot of times. But I've got some cards that I've picked up that are serial numbered. But this is not serial numbered, but it is a rare, and you don't see these inserts anymore every day because they're old enough now. That would, even though it might only get a 7 or 8, but I don't know. I would like to maybe put that. I'll think about it. I'll look it over and think about it because I have to take it out of the top load and penny sleeve to really examine it with a magnifying glass because I don't see nothing glaring right away, right offhand. But I don't really see a lot of wear and tear on the corners either. This card is actually in pretty good shape to be as old as it is, and you know, who knows how many people has handled this card over the years. But anyway, I'm that might go into something that I might send off one day to like send off a submission to SGC. I love their slabs. I just love their slabs, and I love them better than I do these PSA slabs. But anyway, that's this video. I thought I would throw those to, bring those up at the tail end here, but that was my mail today, and this was my $5 pickup. Hey, and it got me off to a start with the new owners of the card shop over there. Hopefully, do some more business with them in the future because I can buy. I don't know how this guy will be. The last guy, actually, I got so good about such good buddies with him and his partner that I got that it got to where they would cut me deals on a lot of card supplies and stuff like where instead of me buying a case of, for example, top loads uh, on the internet, I would go over there and get them from him. And he would order so much at one time from his supplier that he would get them cheaper than I could get them for anyway. And he would sell them to me at his cost because I was buying other stuff from it. But not a lot, not all supplies. Some things he could not get cheap enough to where he could cut me a deal. One-touch magnet holders, he could cut me a deal at times. But and he did. And right when before he sold, he listed a bunch, and I bought a bunch of one-touch magnet holders from him, 2 for $1. You can't beat that. And he sold them to me basically just to get the money back he had in a lot of them, and because they have so much out that they had over there. But anyway, that's it for this video. I'll be back again really soon. I actually have, I know coming in, there's at least 3 large refractor lots that I'll just let you know ahead of time. One of them is over 200 different refractors. Now, not just standard refractors. Some of them's pink, some of them's X-fractors, some of them is Mojo refractors, but it's a 200 refractor lot that I bought recently. There's another lot that was 100 and some refractors that I bought, and then there's a couple of smaller refractor lots that were like, there was one Mojo, everything was Mojo refractors, but it was like 12, and I got it for like less than $6. Um, but I'm going to have a lot of refractors coming up in some videos. As I've just here lately, I've been, I don't know, just something different. I said I'm going to start putting together some, some of these smaller refractor sets, and refractors are actually good. Inserts are actually, more rare inserts. I don't mind stuff like that, collecting stuff like that, and you can always resell refractors and inserts easier than you can't give away base cards, but and like I said, I'm not a box breaker. I'm not a pack breaker. I'm the guy that wants to buy the stuff that you're looking to sell when you're trying to get some of the money back. You blew opening brand new product. I'm the guy that'll step in and say, "Well, I'll buy all those inserts from you." The ones in other words, I want your inserts and you keep your base and that. But who isn't like that really when they're collecting? But anyway, sorry I look so crappy. I've been doing a lot of work today outdoors, and anyway, I'm gonna go get a shower and get ready to settle down with Roseanne. Watch some television tonight. Thank you all for watching. Be back again soon with more videos.